Hey guys, what's up? It's MatchPoint here, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you an updated guide for the best solo queue operator in Siege Nomad. So if you do find this video useful, consider dropping a like on the video. And if there are any topics that you would like me to cover, if you are struggling with them, make sure to comment them down below so I know to cover them. And as well, if you do have any questions about this video or other topics in Siege, then feel free to join the Discord and ask me them there. As well, it's a great opportunity to find other players to play with and as well talk about Siege. There will be a link down below. This video is going to consist of me giving everything you need to know about Nomad, such as her loadout, her roles and her ability, and other tips and tricks. If you are new around here, welcome, and I hope you enjoy the video, so let's get on into it. Nomad is an absolutely fantastic operator in Siege, and in my opinion, she's probably the best operator for solo queue, and we will be discussing this later on in the video as well. But first of all, we are going to be going over Nomad's loadout. For her primary weapons, Nomad does offer you the AK-74M or the ARX-200, which are both assault rifles. Now these guns are both fantastic, but they are going to suit different types of people. It really is going to depend on your playstyle and as well personal preference, as you can't really go wrong with them. However, you do want to be taking these details into account that I will mention. Now the AK-74M, the assault rifle, is going to have 40 bullets in that one magazine, which is going to help for that suppressive fire, and is going to mean that you're not going to be have to focusing on reloading as much in comparison to that ARX-200, as the ARX-200 only does have those 21 bullets. 21 bullets in an assault rifle is barely anything. It is going to mean that you're going to have to be pretty accurate and as well hit your shots consistently. In addition to this, when you are going to be entering into that building, that ARX-200 is going to use up all of the 21 bullets in that magazine to take out a barricade. This means you're going to have to seek for that cover whilst you're going to be reloading in case there is an enemy behind it. Now the damage is really where the ARX-200 does come into play. It is a very heavy hitting assault rifle. It makes up for the lack of bullets in each magazine with that damage the ARX-200 does. However, with the AK-74M, it does have quite a few bullets in that magazine, but as well it can deal the damage, but it's not as much as the ARX-200. It really is going to come down to that personal preference. Now in this situation here, I normally go for that ARX-200 because I'm confident in hitting my shots. However, if you feel like you need those extra bullets in that magazine to win your gunfights, then I would recommend you taking the AK. Now for Nomad's secondaries, she is only going to offer you one option here, being the semi-auto handgun, which overall is definitely a solid secondary to have in comparison to others. Now for Nomad's gadgets, she will offer you that breach charge or as well the stun grenade. Now the gadget selection is going to come down to your playstyle here. Nomad's ability, we will be diving onto that later on in the video very soon, but Nomad's ability can be very useful for covering those flanks, and mainly dominating that map control, especially when you're going to be playing vertically. We will discuss this in more detail in just a minute. However, those air jabs can be very useful for holding different points of the map and controlling the map. Now what I've found to be very useful to use Nomad with is going to be taking those breach charges, using the air jabs to cover your main stairwells and dominate that top map control with your team and open up the site from above. Taking those 3 breach charges as well as another vertical player on your team to go ahead and open that site whilst having your back covered with those air jabs is really a fantastic way to play. I would highly recommend you to take them if you are going to be going down that route. However, I must say this is going to be more of a support orientated role to play rather than an aggressive one. Now the other option for Nomad is going to be taking those flashbangs or the stun grenades. Now the stun grenades can be very useful over the breach charges when you are going to be entry fragging. As an entry fragger, you want to be playing aggressive, taking that map control early on in the game, and the stun grenades can be useful for that when pushing in order to flush out the defenders and get them to rotate to a new position. It's going to come down on what role you're going to be playing as Nomad and your playstyle really here for the gadget selection. Once you've worked that out, you can take this advice forward and move on and take it. And the next section we are about to cover will help you in deciding this, which is going to be Nomad's desired roles. For Nomad's roles, she is definitely going to be playing either support or being an entry fragger. Now the reasons why I say this do link on to what I mentioned before about the gadgets. Nomad can use her air jabs to cover the flank and as well dominate that map control. She's able to stop any defenders executing their flanks, and the 3 air jabs that she does bring with her ability is really going to allow her to control most of the stairwells and as well any entrances up to the top. If you are going to be doing this, then you want to be taking the breach charges for that support role. Then you'll be able to use the breach charges to open up the site and reveal the position of the anchors. Now the reason why this is going to be support orientated is because you're going to be opening up the top of the site so that you can flush out the anchors into different positions. You're not necessarily looking to pick up a kill here, however there is a very good chance you will, which is always a bonus. However, the main factor here is to get the anchors moving around and not feel safe in their current position. Then you'll be able to let the entry fraggers from below flood in and clear out the anchors and ultimately execute the round. And the reason why Nomad can be that entry fragger role is going to be because she's able to use her air jabs to cover her own flank, and when solo queuing she is able to stop other operators from running out on her, especially when she can cover it. She is then able to gain that map control and flood into the site. This way she can clear out those anchors early on and as well dominate that map control. Your main goal here as an entry fragger is to begin to start taking over that map control and slowly edging your team to victory. And the flashbangs definitely will suit that aggressive playstyle. Now next up I am going to be moving over to Nomad's ability. Nomad's ability is the 3 air jabs that she does bring to the table. Now what happens is when a defender goes within the range of these air jabs, the air jab is going to detonate and it's going to send them flying backwards into a position where they do not have their guns out and cannot holster their guns until they have stood back up. And she will have 3 of these, and she does attach them to her weapon so she can use that ACOG to position the air jabs in their correct position. Now I'm going to be running you down on all of the tips and tricks and useful techniques and specifics for Nomad's ability. Now as you can see, we are playing on Consulate here, and what I'm going to be demonstrating right now is how much Nomad can cover with her air jabs and how it can help you to dominate that top map control. And as well, I'm going to be showing you a few misconceptions that people make with Nomad and how to position your air jabs correctly so that they are effective. Now as you can see, I'm going to be placing an air jab on the main stairs here, which is going to be a cover point that I'm going to need. Now I'm not going to be placing my air jab all the way up at the top, as if I do that it's not going to be effective to the point where I can take out that defender if I see them pushing down, as they're going to be too far up the stairs when they've hit off the air jab. Now again here, if I was to position my air jab at the very bottom of the stairs, closer to that bottom area, this isn't going to be effective, as the likelihood is the defender will see the air jab and know not to go down there, and they can very easily get an angle onto where my teammates might be simply by standing in the middle section of the stairs. So instead I'm going to put my air jab right on the middle stairs. Next up, I'm going to be needing to cover the yellow stairs. As you can see, I placed my air jab down here, which is an incorrect placement. You should not be placing your air jab there. You want to be tucking it in so the defenders are not able to see it. As you can see, I then changed this air jab placement over to the closer corner of the yellow stairs so that when a defender moves around there, they won't be able to see that air jab. And covering the main stairwells will help you to dominate that top map control once you've done a roam clear. Now the final area of the positioning of the air jabs that I want to cover is going to be the uses of them. Now as you can see, we're on Consulate again. Now this is a very common run out here by this barricade from yellow stairs. It's a very common place for defenders to run out, and this is what is great about Nomad being the best solo queuing operator. She can use that as cover, essentially if her air jab was a teammate. This way when I'm going to be rappelling and looking into the console office, it is going to be covering my back. Now this is a fairly basic technique, however there is a common misconception and a big mistake here. Now there is a different run out from the top of yellow stairs that I'm showing you right now from the top window, and most players will place their air jabs down at the very top of it. Now this is a common placement and it is an incorrect one. If a defender was to run out there, it's not going to trigger, as when you think about it, no defender is going to be hitting that air jab, and this is a very ineffective placement. Instead what you should be doing is placing it at the bottom, so when they jump out of that window, when they hit the ground on the bottom, the air jab is going to trigger and then you'll be notified and can act on it. Overall, Nomad is a fantastic solo queue operator. Being able to use her air jabs as essentially extra teammates to watch her flank and cover certain points on the map. And that is going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you have all enjoyed. If you did, or you found this video useful, then make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe for more tips and tricks like this. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.